Hello everyone. Welcome to Library Directors 101, brought to you by COSLA, the Chief Officers of State Library Agencies. COSLA is an independent organization of the Chief Officers of State and Territorial Agencies designated as the State Library Administrative Agencies in their locales. They're responsible for statewide library development. COSLA's CE, Continuing Education, Connector Project is supported through funding from the Institute of Museum and Library Services, IMLS, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. First of all, welcome to your new role. If you're like many of us, you've been selected for and elevated to your new position because you did your last job really well. We recognize that although this may be a great reflection on your ability to succeed, do a job well, learn, and even adapt, it does not mean you are thoroughly prepared to handle all that your new job has to offer. And we also recognize that many of the day-to-day operations and surprises that are involved in running a library are not necessarily things that are taught in library school. There are 4 videos in this series. In this session on community relations, we discuss library marketing, public relations, and outreach.
The following definitions will be helpful in guiding the content of this webinar. According to Renee Blodgett, CEO and founder of Magic Sauce Media, marketing is an ongoing communications exchange with customers in a way that educates, informs, and builds relationships over time. The over time part is important because only over time can trust be created. With trust, a community builds organically around products and services, and those customers become as excited about the products as you are. They become advocates, loyal evangelists, repeat customers, and often friends. Marketing is a really great way to identify what grabs people and gets them excited about your brand and give it to them, involve them in the process, and the best part, build great friendships in the process. Your public relations strategy will help you determine and clearly articulate the desired image or brand, as mentioned above. For the sake of clarity, a good definition of public relations comes from the Business Dictionary. Public relations is the profession or practice of creating and maintaining the goodwill of an organization's various publics, customers, employees, investors, suppliers, etc., usually through publicity and other non-paid forms of communication. These efforts may also include support of arts, charitable causes, education, sporting events, and other civic engagements.
So, as a new director engaging in this 101 training, the first place to delve in is in learning and understanding your library's current culture and mission. It's as simple as this. You need to first identify who you are or who you want to be before you can map out where you want to go. Take a look at the existing culture and mission and explore ways to take what currently exists and build on it. During this stage, you'll need to ask yourself a few questions. Is your library living up to its stated mission? Is the library staff invested in the current identity of the library, or are they ready for a change? Does your library have a strategic plan? Your library's publicly facing messages will ultimately be informed by your mission, so you definitely want to take some time to do some strategic planning. In fact, let me take this opportunity to give you a plug for one of the other webinars in this New Directors 101 series. It's focused on strategic planning and its value and importance. And don't forget to incorporate marketing into your planning. Marketing will be integral in the rollout of your strategic plan. It will be key when trying to make headway with your stakeholders and in your communities.
The ultimate goal of marketing in our library world is to strategically make your library discoverable. We just mentioned the importance of building a marketing plan. It is also incredibly important to realize that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to marketing. If your library has a marketing plan in place, you should attempt to assess it and decide on your overall goal. You should also decide who is going to do your marketing and allocate appropriate time and funds to your efforts. After you have made those decisions, you will want to identify your key marketing vehicles. These may include your library's website, advertising, print and online, social media, blogging, and online videos, and make sure you have policies for those, print materials like brochures and flyers and posters, email campaigns and direct mail campaigns, and finally, your events.
So we've talked a little bit about the vehicles. Let's talk a little bit about the methods. First and foremost, hone your storytelling skills. Your library advocacy and marketing has to do with telling the library's story. Putting your key messages and news in the context of a story helps people pay attention, understand, and remember it. Think beyond simply posting updates and promoting events. The key to marketing is reinforcing your brand and staying loyal to your library's bigger story. Marketing allows for an added visual component to your story that text alone cannot accomplish. In terms of web presence and social media, an image or graphic or video can be worth hundreds of shares and likes. Utilize your website. Your website should be the cornerstone of your marketing plan. It is your strongest marketing tool and often the very first place people go to get information. And they'll do this on their computers, smartphones, and tablets. Remember that navigation is key. Visitors often come to your page with specific intention in mind. Make it easy for them to find what they're looking for. Ask non-librarians to navigate your site and weigh in on whether or not the flow is intuitive. Keep your website current and fresh. Don't let it go stale. Go to where your customers and potential customers are. Social media also provides an opportunity to engage directly with your patrons. Social networking platforms are a wonderful avenue to gather and share stories with friends and friends of friends. Consider developing a bank of stories so that they are at your fingertips when you have the opportunity to share them. Perhaps you may want to hold an annual event for staff and patrons and make a point to get their stories about the library. Link your social media presence to your website. Social sharing buttons on your website allow your visitors to share your web pages with their friends on Facebook, Twitter, and more. Make sure you have social media policies, such as staff policies and user conduct rules. We highly recommend that you create guidelines for your staff to follow when using social media on behalf of your library. Do you have any current social media accounts that get no use and need to either be deleted or revamped? Remember that social networking is conversation. Make sure that the terminology you use makes sense to people outside of your library. If they don't understand what you're calling your resources, they won't be able to find them.
A large part of public relations is media relations. It is important to deliberately develop a public relations and media outreach strategy. Creating positive news coverage about your library can help increase public awareness about your programs and offerings and can also help to attract and increase involvement and engagement. It can create, change, build, or enhance your public image and public perceptions, help win or build support, help you reach new or never-before approached audiences, provide a platform to clarify misunderstandings and misinformation, and serve as an ongoing avenue to communicate the value of libraries. It is important that your marketing message is strategically placed so that people think of you when they need you. The following quote from Ned Potter brings this message home. Strategic marketing works so well as a joined-up approach rather than a series of unrelated promotions. It's different visions of the same message across multiple formats, traditional marketing, social media, and so on, to reinforce the message and to reach people who wouldn't otherwise hear what you have to say. If everything you do works together and builds on what you've done before, it creates an ambient awareness of the services the library provides and enables us to be what people think of when they need what we do. You do want to be in control of your library's promotions, so you will want to keep these things in mind when dealing with the media. Identify your library spokespersons and let staff know who they are. Make your story relevant to journalists by relating your library to breaking news or current events. Show the media that your library is current and relates to today's community issues. The previous point serves as a nice segue to outreach and partnerships. Community relations and strategic partnerships go hand in hand. Marketing is a tool that expands people's ideas of what is possible or what is an easy solution for their needs. The outreach part of the equation is where the marketing gets its legs. It is the actual deliverable and is the heart of real library service. Once you partner with someone outside of your organization, you begin to care about something outside of your library's walls, and you become more integral to the greater community. Your library cannot remain relevant if it solely focuses on being a repository for books and resources. So much of what libraries do now has to do with programming for the public, anticipation of and provision for community needs, and involvement in the life of the community. While the library does need to include community relations in its marketing plan, the first step for a new library director should be to make him or herself visible in the community by getting out, meeting people, and joining organizations such as the Rotary Club. Community relations means being in the community, so get out there and engage with your community. Also, from a financial standpoint, partnerships offer an avenue for resource sharing and leveraging. By joining forces with fellow organizations, you can accomplish more together than you could on your own, and you are maximizing your reach into their constituencies as well as your own. Look for natural fits for your outreach programs. What services do you currently offer that would get some great traction if you took them outside of the library?
Consider that the public library is uniquely positioned to foster collaborative efforts and create alliances that transform the community. The best partnerships are mutually beneficial with shared visions and goals. The library belongs to the community, and the more the public feels that sense of ownership, the more they will want to know about library programming and services. Building community partnerships is not a new concept for libraries, which have long been active community hubs, reaching out to all sectors in their service area. However, in this age of library transformation, it's time to escalate the scale of community engagement. On one level, it's survival. It's also the natural progression of a trusted local institution of long standing. Establishing relationships with the decision makers, thought leaders, politicians, movers and shakers of your communities will maximize your reach throughout the community. And remember, outreach should happen all year long, not just when it's budget season. We really want to bring this message home. We're not saying that it is easy. Partnering and collaborating take work. But in today's world, it is incumbent upon you to network and develop strategic alliances. Partnering and collaborating are the way of leveraging investments, effectively doing business, and promoting your library as an integral part of your community's infrastructure. Depending upon your service focus, there are numerous partnership opportunities throughout your communities. Potential partners such as service organizations, including but not limited to Rotary, Chamber of Commerce, literacy volunteers, state departments of labor, education, and archives, community colleges, humanities and arts councils, and historical societies. All of these can help you expand your library's reach and maximize your impact.
Thank you for participating in this session focused on marketing, public relations, and outreach. We wish you success as you tell your library's story and get familiar with your community. Please continue with us to view the other segments in this series, Your New Role, Planning, and Asset Management.